This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The state opposition is under increasing pressure to reveal its policy on gaming reform. The government today taking the unusual step of suspending standing orders in Parliament in an attempt to force the Labor leader to outline the party position.
The opposition leader was looking to scrutinise health.
Every day, patients are at very real, very high risks of avoidable deaths.
But the state government had other plans, quizzing the opposition on its position on poker machines, amid claims the party is considering millions of dollars in payouts for venues that hand back the machines.
I've heard that the Shadow Treasurer has been pub crawling his way around Tasmania, testing with publicans whether $1 million is enough for them to hand back their machines.
The government moving to suspend standing orders, allowing the Labor leader to outline the party's position as a matter of public importance, supported by the Greens.
They shouldn't be so secretive and split on this and trying to walk both sides of the street.
You're as bad as each other. You are disgusting on this issue because you want to back in an industry which is taking people's lives.
The Labor leader confirming the party will consider compensation for venues once the parliamentary inquiry hands down its findings this month.
Of course, there's been discussion about whether or not compensation is part of that conversation, but it's not Labor policy to provide $1 million to venues.
We will not be buying out pubs and clubs. Our position in respect of pokie numbers is clear. It's before the committee. We will reduce by 150 the number of machines in pubs and clubs.
Question Time today revealing a mass exodus of Tasmania's Aboriginal Heritage Council. It says plans to reopen four-wheel drive tracks in the Arthur Pyman Conservation Area is referred to the federal government.
6 of the 8 Aboriginal people on your Aboriginal Heritage Council have resigned in protest, less than a month after you announced its establishment.
We are attempting to be inclusive. There are some that don't want us to be, but that's a matter for them.
The government says 4 recent resignations were not in regards to the tracks. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Draft concept plans of a major upgrade to Launceston's Silverdome reveal new vehicle entry and exits and 2 new multi-purpose courts adjoining the main building. There is currently no funding allocated to complete all the plans, but netball and basketball groups say more courts are needed in the north.
It's all part of a draft plan of what the Silverdome area could one day look like. The concept drawings show 2 multi-purpose courts adjoining the existing velodrome, new entry and exit points to the Bass Highway and a roundabout just over the bridge.
There's a need for better quality courts and especially for an indoor netball court. So that's really what is needed, and that's what I'm assuming this is all about.
Southern Cross News revealed late last month that the Silverdome will soon undergo a state government-funded $1.9 million facelift. Draft plans for that have been drawn up, with the project set to go out for tender in November. It's in that same state government-commissioned redevelopment plan where other upgrades have been drafted. Sporting groups say new courts are needed, but want them built in the right area.
Haven't seen these plans before today. Any solution for basketball courts in northern Tasmania is really important, but overall in the long term we need a co-located space where junior basketball, senior basketball and the Tornadoes can be a family together, working and growing together.
Best I can tell from the plans that it's a good setup that could potentially support national championship type events. So we'd be keen to be part of any group that we're reviewing the facilities.
This is where the courts have been drafted to be built, but there's no certainty the development will get off the ground. Funds are yet to be allocated, and the state government says it's continuing to work with Northern Tasmanian sporting groups to determine exactly what future facilities are needed. Monika Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Public health authorities are reporting the moderately severe flu season has peaked and appears to be declining. They've confirmed 21 influenza-related deaths in Tasmania this year, including 6 at this Latrobe aged care facility last month. A total of 34 facilities have been hit with outbreaks, with 17 currently affected. Public Health says this flu season has been moderately severe, with more than 2,000 laboratory-confirmed cases of influenza. Lifesavers and marine authorities are warning Tasmanians about water safety. Our state has the second highest rate of drownings in the country, with 11 people killed in the last financial year.
These children are diving in to get an early start on water safety. This familiarisation program is helping these 2- and 3-year-olds build confidence.
It's a combination of learning skills and having fun. This is basically what every parent should be doing throughout the country.
It's an important lesson to teach, as Royal Lifesaving's new report shows. Last financial year, 29 children under the age of 4 drowned across Australia.
In Tasmania, we've been really fortunate with the release of the National Drowning Report to find that we haven't actually had any drownings in the 0 to 4 age group.
In Tasmania, there were a total of 11 fatalities, giving our state the second highest rate of drownings in the country compared with our population. Boating incidents accounted for 7 of them.
For us here in Tas, the biggest drowning cohort has been men aged about 25 to 40-ish. In winter, which is different than a lot of the other states.
Marine and Safety Tasmania says the number of drownings have reduced since the introduction of mandatory life jacket laws, but it's issuing a warning about inflatable PFDs.
CO2 will escape from up there and the jacket won't inflate as it should.
Mast says recent boat ramp inspections have shown around 60% aren't in working order because they haven't been maintained.
See, again, a rusty bottle.
The CO2 bottle can become loose if you go in the water. If that's loose, it may well not inflate. They've got movable parts on them. They need to be looked after and maintained.
There's more information on life jacket maintenance on the Mast website. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Welcome back. Tasmanian milk is being used to recruit more foster carers. Special labels will be placed on products in the coming weeks, urging people with a safe home to help those in need.
Milk bottles were once used to find missing people. Now they're finding foster carers. These tags will be placed on 10,000 bottles of Ashgrove milk over the next 2 weeks, directing people to the team at Life Without Barriers.
Our team are ready and waiting by the phones, and we look forward to talking to as many people as we can.
Creating a little bit of a community response to the need for more foster caring in Tasmania.
More carers are always needed, and many of us are suitable.
So you can be single, de facto married, you might have children or not have children, might own your own home or be renting.
In the case of Georgie Todman, welcoming a teenage boy into her home was all about taking the plunge.
There's so many unknowns, but there's good support structures and networks to help you.
She says lots of people are thinking about opening their doors, and those who do enjoy rich rewards.
It wasn't really this one day where we decided that we would do it and that was the end of the story. We made the decision to make the call, send the email, start the journey.
For someone else, that journey might begin with a glass of milk. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
The first Tasmanian woman to swim the English Channel 10 years ago has returned to the UK to celebrate the milestone by competing in an event in bone-chilling conditions. Anne Steele dove into Loch in Scotland over the weekend, raising thousands of dollars for charity in the process. Our Europe correspondent Kath Turner has more.
In the picturesque Central Highlands of Scotland, a group of hardy swimmers are bracing for a brutal journey. A 12-kilometre swim across Loch in frigid water. Among the steely competitors, Tasmanian schoolteacher Anne Steele. In the lead up to the event, the 48-year-old tried to acclimatise in equally chilly temperatures in her home state. Anne chose not to wear a wetsuit, which would have given her more buoyancy and warmth.
At the 6K mark, my muscles started to seize up from the cold water, and that was then, it became a mind game, just keeping those arms rolling over.
She made it, crossing the finish line in 2 hours and 55 minutes. 10 years ago, Anne became the first Tasmanian woman to swim the English Channel. She chose the Loch event to mark the anniversary with a special tribute. There's a personal reason why Anne chose to compete in an event on the other side of the world. Her late father was born and bred in Scotland.
He would have just been so proud of me, and, you know, I felt him with me, and I'm sure he helped me get to the end.
Every stroke is for a good cause. Anne was diagnosed with a malignant melanoma 5 years ago and is raising money to increase early detection awareness. So far, more than $11,000. Her fundraising is likely to pull her into the water again.
There's talk of swimming from Scotland to Ireland. I've always wanted to swim down in Antarctica.
She might want to splash out on a wetsuit for that one.
Former Blue Heelers actor John Wood and Julie Nihill have brought the production of Bakersfield Mr Tasmania. The duo moved into the Princess Theatre today ahead of their performance tonight. The witty comedy is based on a true story and sees Nihill play a character called Maud, who believes she has a real Jackson Pollock painting.
It's a bit like a murder mystery. There are so many twists and turns and denouement that, the audience just doesn't know what's going to happen next.
It's such a gift to perform it because everything that you want from theatre is there. It's great theatre.
Tickets are available at the door and the show starts at 7:30. More mentors will be available to young Tasmanians thanks to a $10,000 grant from the Commonwealth Bank to City Mission. The donation will go towards The Mish, a program helping adolescents get back on track in society.
We run a number of programs to re-engage them based around art or music or IT services. They can gain employment in the cafe here.
Around 150 young people are expected to benefit from the extra funding.
He's established himself as one of the most dominant midfielders in the TSL and has played a crucial role in Launceston's incredible rise to premiership contention. Now under the guidance of coach Sam Lonigan, Brodie Palfreman says he's ready to step up another gear and help the Blues pull off a fairy tale finish.
Coming off a breakout season, the 18-year-old was quick to credit much of his 2017 form to his coach.
He's been unreal for all of the boys, and I think that's what's driven my form this year is probably Sam in a big pre-season.
Recognising the rising star's potential, Lonigan has spent more time down forward as the year progressed, entrusting Palfreman with more responsibility in the middle of the ground, and he's grabbed the opportunity with both hands.
For Sam, a bloke that's played a lot of AFL footy and a lot of experience at a lot of different clubs, for him to step down and have belief in me to step up and prove my role for the team's pretty exciting.
Facing Lauderdale this weekend for a spot in the big dance against crosstown rivals North Launceston, Palfreman says he's ready to continue repaying the faith his coach has shown in him as the Blues prepare to pull off the unthinkable.
Finishing 5th and coming from 8th the year before, we really thrive on being the underdogs.
Having already proved he's not one to shy away from the pressure of a big game, the ball magnet will need those steely nerves on Saturday, up against one of the competition's most physical midfields. But after progressing further into the final series than anyone expected, Palfreman says he and his Blues are ready.
I definitely think we've got it to go all the way. Now that we've got over the 2 hurdles and one more to go, hopefully, the belief's really high.
Meanwhile, Lauderdale has suffered a big blow to its forward line ahead of Saturday's Blunston Arena prelim, with the club accepting Tutai Havea's one-match suspension for rough conduct against North Launceston's Ryan Mansell during last weekend's 93-point loss at Utah Stadium. The incident was deemed low impact, but having already received a suspension this year, Havea's base sanction was increased from a reprimand to 1 match with an early guilty plea. Tasmanian Tigers stars are about to spread across the state, encouraging children to play cricket. Players returned home from a training camp in Mooloolaba this afternoon, ready to head to 51 schools and nearly a dozen local cricket clubs over the next 2 days. The community blitz includes sessions in the major centres, along with Strawn, St Helens and King Island.
We've got 43,000 participants across the state. 26% growth in female participation last year. So just a really big focus for us is getting people into the sport.
The session focuses on developing fine motor skills and improving fitness. Forgotten all-rounder James Faulkner is determined to win his spot back in the Aussie one-day side. Faulkner lost his Cricket Australia contract after being dropped from the Champions Trophy squad in June.
I think if you ask any player, anytime you get left out, it's not great fun. At the end of the day, it's up to you to bounce back. So I'm excited to be back in the group.
Australia's opening one-day game against India is on Sunday.
Good evening. Hobart, Burnie and Devonport all just 11 degrees, Launceston only 12, while Friendly Beach is again our top, 15 degrees today. Temperatures were up to 5 degrees below average though. King Island and St Helens 14, Campania and Flinders Island both 13 degrees, Lowhead, Grove and Bushy Park 12, Wynyard 10 and Strawn 11. A surface trough and cold front mixed with an upper level disturbance generated all the cloud over the southeastern part of the country, including Tasmania. Colder southwesterly air has produced areas of cloud over Western Australia. A high maintains clear skies elsewhere. Now, Tasmania shrouded by that mid-level cloud as it tracks across to the east. Tomorrow, the trough and cold front move over Tasmania as a high builds over central Australia and a trough over Queensland. There, the winds west to southwesterly at 20 to 30 knots, but up to 25 to 35 knots over western waters later. Swells at 4 metres in the south. Gale warning, that's current for waters between Low Rocky Point and Stanley. A strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters apart from the upper east coast. Small craft wind alert for the lakes. A showery day for Hobart, 15 the top, 13 for Geefston and Bothwell with showers in the offing. Launceston, a shower clearing, 14 the maximum, 13 for Devonport, a showery day for Cressy and 14 degrees. Burnie showers easing, 13 the top, 13 also for Strawn and Curry. And for St Helens, morning showers, 15, 16 for Swansea, Orford, a top of 15 degrees. Thursday we have snow above 500 metres along with showers, mainly in the morning. A shower or two on Friday, a little more snow and winds turning southwesterly, and niggly showers on into Saturday with snow rising up from 400 metres during the day. Sunny in Perth tomorrow, showers for Adelaide, Melbourne and Canberra, partly cloudy and windy in Sydney, but nice and warm further north. Cloudy, 7 degrees in Hobart, 8 degrees in Launceston, Devonport partly cloudy as well, and 9 degrees. You know, I don't know how I've survived, but today we celebrate 21 years of Joe Palmer at Southern Cross Television. Congratulations, Joe. Funny thing is, it was really interesting when we asked you if you wanted flowers or champagne. You didn't take long to answer.
I do like both, but it doesn't compete with your 33 years this month, Murph. It's a long time. We could die here together, couldn't we? Thank you very much. All right, that's all from the news team. Have a lovely evening. I'll see you a bit later. Bye-bye.